Hey everyone, I'm Erin and welcome to the Cardboard Republic. We are going to talk about the games we're going to play during the month of October. I realize this video is probably going out to you a little bit late, so I guess the games we're going to play over the rest of October. Anyway, let's get right into it. But first, we're going to start off with a little recap of how our September to be played went. Not well. Not well at all. First is the Guardians Explore. This was our September game of the month. In this one, you are playing as a bunch of kids, going around and protecting your neighborhood from evil. You are drafting a deck, but it's a deck built around one core card, and that whole aspect was very, very fun. But anyway, we played this, obviously. We played it a lot. It was our game of the month. We played it with a whole bunch of different people, so check. Star Trek Ascendancy is a 3-player only game. You have one player as the Klingons, one player as the Federation, and one player as the Romulans, and you are all going at it and trying to use diplomacy, but probably mostly warfare to get control of the board. Given that it is a 3-player only game, no more, no less, we just didn't have a 3-player game night where we could have brought this one out. We really wanted to, but getting 3 players and then getting those 3 players to commit to a 3-hour game, you can see our difficulty. Killer Snails is a game about collecting these peptides from snails in order to make medicine for people. And it's primarily card-based. I am so excited to play this one, except for on the 2 occasions where we could have actually played this one this month, in both of which I was like, I don't really want to play Killer Snails right now. So I take full responsibility for not having played this. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think I'm just intimidated by how excited I am for Killer Snails. Like, what if I don't like it? What do I do then? Discoveries, the Journals of Lewis and Clark. We played this at least, I played it once. I think Ryan played it twice, but it is a dice placement game about writing things in the Journals of Lewis and Clark on their expedition. It was actually pretty fun. It is a retake on the classic Lewis and Clark game, so it has that same feel to it. And I really, really enjoyed this one. Stockpile was our replay game. So that's a game that we played previously that we wanted to play again during the month of September. And we totally did. I think I played it twice during September, or maybe once at the very end of August and once during September. I don't remember. But we played it a lot. We played it with the expansion, and I was not a huge fan of this game to begin with. I felt like it was a little too simplistic for me to really commit to. But with the expansion, which adds these bonds and adds other options for your stocks, it was a lot of fun. It added enough depth to the game that I had something to sink my teeth into, but it kept the core feel of the game the same. And I think that's kind of the goal of every expansion. This one did it pretty well. Baseball Highlights 2045 was our card pull game. So I shuffled this deck of cards, pulled out this game, and promised that we would review it by the end of the month. Then I completely broke my promise, so now I'm going to shuffle this back into the deck. The tricky thing about Baseball Highlights is that it's really a 2-player game or a 4-player game. And just like Star Trek Ascendancy, we didn't have a lot of instances of having the right number of players combined with the right timing to actually play that one this month. I think we didn't really realize last month that we picked 2 games that involve a very specific number of players, and those ones are usually hard to get to the table. So Baseball Highlights is obviously a game about baseball, and that's not really my thing. I didn't feel like I was the best person to play this and then review it. So Ryan was going to play it with a couple other people, but that just never ended up happening. So it went back in this deck. It's going to be shuffled, and we will definitely do it at some point in the future. We could even do it sooner rather than later, but for September, it just did not happen. So overall, that's 3 out of 6 games that we played during September. That's a 50%, which is basically a horrible, horrible grade. But I think we didn't realize when we were going in how difficult we had made it on ourselves. So we're going to try to do better in October, and we have the Granite State Game Summit, and we have a lot of game days scheduled. So I'm thinking that we can do it. So let's get into the games that we have planned for them. First is Role Player. This is our October game of the month. It's a game all about the character creation process in a role-playing game. So the whole deal is that you are taking dice and placing them on your character, manipulating them, trying to get the best combos you can to totally min-max your character. You're also trying to get skills and equipment and the classic RPG stuff. Now, character creation is not something that I am the best at, especially if you're talking about min-maxing and rolling a really, really, really skilled character. I tend to play games that really value narrative path, as I'm sure you can all imagine. That's probably not a shock. So if I can put that aside and get into Role Player, I'm excited to try it. I'm just a little concerned that I'm going to approach it and be like, well, why would I put this die into strength? We'll see. I will try to rein in my storyteller side and just enjoy the game as it is supposed to be enjoyed. Next is Covert. This is a game about controlling a ring of spies in Europe during the war. You have to move your people around and solve these puzzles, and it's really the puzzle aspect of it that I'm the most excited for, because there's actually like this code thing on the board, and as far as I can tell, you have to figure things out a little bit, or at least gather the information to figure things out. And I love games that actually force you to think like that, in addition to doing the bigger overall strategy thing. I am so excited for this game. I also love the theme, even though war games or games set during war times are not generally something I get super excited about. The idea of playing as a spy master during a war is just different enough to grab me and present as something new and exciting. And then we have Myth. This is a game in which the evil red dragon has stolen a bunch of cheese from the adorable little mice, and they have to fight to get it back. It's a 20-minute game with really cute artwork, and we picked this one to balance out the heavier games that we have on our list. We do really want to play it. It's not that we don't want to play it and we just picked a filler game, but we are trying to be a little more attainable with our list for right now. So Myth seemed like a way to get it played, be really awesome, and hopefully facilitate more gaming. Our next game is Islebound. This is set in the same universe, or at least uses all of the same art style as Above and Below. But instead of settling a little village and exploring caverns, you're traveling from island to island, commanding your ship, gathering supplies, raiding villages, doing all sorts of cool stuff. We actually got this one at Gen Con. So I'm hoping that we can get it played before the end of the year. That's why it's on this list, because it looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm so excited just to put this on the table and take pictures. Our replay game for October, so that's a game that we've played before at least once and want to bring back to the table. It's Dominion. Obviously, we've played that more than once. It's a staple deck builder. It is the grandfather deck builder game. And we've played so many deck builders in the last month and a half, that I want to go back to the one that really started it all, get that experience again, and I think it will really enhance the way I'm able to think about these new modern deck builders like Clank and Guardians Explore, games that take deck building and build upon it. Dominion is the one to go to for that. So we will be playing it, probably not with the newest expansions, but we do have a bunch of expansion sets that are already mixed in. I get nothing else. Like, what do you say about Dominion? It's a huge game. It's like trying to tell why you would play Settlers of Catan. Like, it's just, of course you're going to play it. You have to play it at some point because it's a reference point for so many other games. Next is our card pull game. I'm going to shuffle this deck of cards and pull one from it. That is a game that we will play and review. Hopefully we will try our best during the month of October. Let's do it. While the cat digs up the carpet. Charming. Love you. Best decision of my life. The cat's lonely, we said. Let's just get another cat to keep him company. Disaster. She's a demon. I love her. She's amazing, but she's a demon. Okay. Probably shuffled enough. Talked about my cat enough for one video. Probably. She's kind of awesome. All right. 7 Dragons. 7 Dragons is a domino-style game where all of the cards have colors on them instead of numbers. You start off with a secret goal color, and every turn you're putting down cards. Ultimately, you're trying to get a territory consisting of 7 cards of that goal color. You can use other cards to manipulate ones that are already in play to give yourself some benefit. Ultimately, though, it's the cards in your hand, the cards that you're going to be playing that are going to get you the most bang for your buck. And this is a relatively short game, which means it's achievable during October. So we are committing to this. I promise you that by the end of the first week of November, because we might do a podcast review and I want to buy us some time to record that, by the end of the first week of November, we will have a review of 7 Dragons out somewhere on the Cardboard Republic site. That's what we have planned for October. We have a lot of longer games, but we also have some shorter games mixed in to balance things out. I tried to do that a little better than in previous months, but we will see what happens. I'm gonna set the bar pretty high though and say that I really am planning to get all of these played by the end of the month because I want to be able to come back to you in November and say, we swept it. We totally did it. I haven't been able to do that in a while and I'm dying for it. Okay. If you like what you saw here, obviously hit subscribe and like this video. Leave us some comments with the games that you're planning on playing in October. I love to hear what you guys are putting on your tables. And we will be back with some more videos soon. Bye. Killer Snails is a game about battling different snails and trying... No, that's not what it's about at all. What am I even talking about? I'm so ashamed. This is a game you play a bunch of kids trying to save your neighborhood from this big bad evil thing that is happening. There's all sorts of magic and bad stuff going on. I hate my life. Next is our card pull game. Do not drink that. Hey everyone, I'm Erin and welcome to the Cardboard Republic. I can't pronounce her name anymore. I'm exhausted.